Okay, so Fiverr just became on easy mode in 2025, and there's a lot of people actually making $10,000 a month as a freelancer. In fact, I believe this is the easiest year for you to actually make $10,000 in Fiverr as a complete freelancer. You don't need to have any expertise whatsoever. And in fact, like as you can see here, like I was able to pretty much reach close to $10,000 a month within 3 months of me just starting my account, not your account, my account. So it's very possible that you can do it yourself, and it's actually easier than ever, because when I was starting out here back in 2020, we didn't have any chat GPT and whatnot, and right now AI has been integrated into Fiverr, which means that it requires less work. You know what I'm saying? And also I wanted to show you like some proof that there's a lot of people making over $10,000 a month. In fact, I believe these guys been making like quite a few million, because I was checking these guys. For example, I would do SEO backlinks and whatnot. I never researched on this, but look at this guy, like done like 26,000 orders completed, and check his prices. And there's like a lot of different other options. Like, for example, I think I saw, who was this? Let's try with this one. Like, there's like 4,900. I saw just one. Let me see where can I find him. But he was just doing like, he had like over 100,000 completed orders, like 126,000. Then should be somewhere here. Maybe this guy. Um, yeah, look at this stuff. Like in like 9,000 reviews and just this gig, like this guy is making like a shit ton of money. So there's a lot of money to be made here on Fiverr. You know what I'm saying? But you need to understand how to actually do it, because it just became easier in 2025. Because like let me just go ahead here, and like you don't need any expertise to begin with. Let me just uncover all of these like quite a bit nonsense. I just want to do like a the average guy who just create these type of videos just to hide some things. Now let me just go ahead. You need to have any sales call. You need to have a team. You don't need any money to begin with. That's the beauty about Fiverr. It's so easy. Like especially when you started like venturing in business, like this is pretty much the best route when you're starting out. Because you don't need any money. When I was starting out, I did it because I wanted to earn a little bit of money, because I wanted to fund my e-commerce business. But guess what? You need money for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I needed to pay for advertisements and whatnot. And back in the day, I didn't have any money, so I started freelancing because of that. I never expected though that I was gonna be able to make this amount of money like fairly quick, because it's like changing money. You know what I'm saying? But it was very possible, and then you just continue like as you move ahead and whatnot. But of course, I had like a lot of dips, but still, like it was just like a lot of money. So it's just proof that you can actually make it. And the reason why I'm saying it's easier is because like now you don't need to have like even like you don't have to do as much work as I had to do, because now you have AI integrated. And a lot of people try to overcomplicating things by just starting like these type of businesses. So for example, you're trying to get into crypto, you're trying to get into drop shipping, you're trying to get into trading, you're trying to get affiliate marketing, SaaS, and all that stuff. Like it actually requires money and effort to begin with. And when you're starting out, you should always try to aim on trading your time for money. This is the kicker, okay? This is the kicker. Like just trade your time for money when you're starting out, then you get your time back. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people saying like, no, no, you have to be like a businessman, and you have to always like don't trade your time for money, because that's not the best way to earn money, which I do agree. But when you're starting out, you're in no position to actually just spend money in order to get money. You know what I'm saying? So you must start from somewhere. And the easiest way, and I'm just telling you based on my experience, the easiest way to start trading your time for money, but using Fiverr as a leverage in order to get clients. Because with Fiverr, you don't need to pretty much chase clients. Clients chase you because they're looking for your services. So as you can see here, like for example, if you look for SEO per se, like people would just go ahead here on Fiverr and just click, let's say if they're interested in SEO services, you're just gonna hit here and they will just click on the services that are here. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be pretty much making sure that you have an optimized gig and profile in order for you to get a higher chance of getting prospects, but people come to you. So your only goal here is to close a client. Like you don't have to be expert delivering your service and whatnot. You just need to close a client. That's your job as a Fiverr seller. Your job is to sell. Is not to be the expert on SEO and all that stuff, because you can always delegate that to somebody else. It's all about selling first money in your pocket, and then you start delegating that to somebody else. Because let's say for example this guy, and I'm just telling you like SEO is not like the only example. We can do like something much simpler like copywriting. It can be just anything. There's a crazy amount of services here on Fiverr. So here, let's say this guy, copywriting. Let's see. I don't understand why I cannot see their orders in queue. Maybe not every single. For some reason, you cannot see all of them. It really depends on the service, but well, it really doesn't matter. Just let's try with this one. Okay, whatever. At the end of the day, like people are gonna be pretty much contacting you So therefore, your only goal is to actually close them. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's very important to have like an optimized gig description and whatnot. But like for example, your gig description will be something like this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, it's something very, very easy to actually do once you understand, because that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason why I was able to make this amount of money, it was because I was good at selling. But the thing here is like back in the day, I was just texting all myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I was, even although I had a team eventually, because when I was starting out, I was completely a freelancer. You know what I'm saying? When I was doing this amount of money, like I was working with this month, I closed around 200 people, but I was doing everything myself. So I was like a robot. You know what I'm saying? Like texting everybody, just delivering and all that stuff. Eventually, I hired people. That was actually in 2022, because I was, I understood why I was getting like these dips. So around here was when I started like hiring people in order for me to actually deliver in the service. But like nowadays it's much more easier, because like one of the things that consume you the most time is just actually replying to clients. But nowadays, I was telling you, like Fiverr just integrated AI, which is something called, I think, Fiverr Go or something like that. It's quite weird. It's actually super new, but now these actually help you, because you can train that AI in order for them to reply the messages for you. You know what I'm saying? Like a sidekick is I really don't understand exactly, because it's really just in beta phases. It's actually very new. But basically, what it allows you to do is like you don't have to pretty much respond to any messages and everything that just consumes time. Your only goal is to close a client. And I think they can even close clients for you. When you're starting out, you should be aiming for that. You should be getting good at it, because sales is the best and the highest leverage skill that you will get, especially here on Fiverr, because that's your only goal here. You don't have to be an expert on web design. You don't have to be an expert in copywriting. You don't have to be an expert in SEO backlinks. You just have to be good at selling. And this is something very easy to actually get good at it, because you can find like many YouTube videos. For example, I always suggest looking for Russell Brunson irresistible offer videos, and like you can just go ahead in all type of similar videos regarding Russell Brunson's irresistible offers, or just like youtube.com and just like try with how to make an irresistible offer. An irresistible offer. I'm telling you this because like I started like learning these around let's say 2018. So it was like long time ago. So I've been a long time around the block. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned all of these, and I can definitely and with full confidence tell you that it was like 100% responsible of my success here as a freelancer on Fiverr, because my actual industry on Fiverr is web design, basically e-com services as well. But guess what? I was no expert as an e-com service provider. I would say I was like a let's say I was not that bad, but when I was starting out, I was a 3 out of 10 regarding this, like regarding my service, like service delivery. And then nowadays I'll be more like a 6 to 7 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? So definitely I made like huge improvements over time. However, I would consider myself to be anywhere around 8 or 9 out of 10 regarding selling, because that's the most important thing. Because the main difference in between, let's say, this guy who has like over 1,000 orders completed and this guy who has like less orders is pretty much their ability to sell, because like most people, like let's say when they're like looking for your service, let's try with web design. I'm pretty sure you can see the orders in queue over here. But if you're actually looking for this guy in web design, yeah, there you have. You can see they have 47 orders in queue. I don't understand why in some services you cannot see it. That's actually odd. But yeah, you can actually understand how much money they're making based on this, and they have many repeated buyers and whatnot. So here you can have like a better understanding, right? So the reason why he has 47 orders in queue and this person, let's see how much it has. Let's try someone who's in WordPress. This one, okay. And this was who only has 10 orders in queue. It's basically their ability to sell and position their services. That's the most important thing. How they sell and position the services. It's what makes a difference, because everybody, most buyers that come here to web design, they will try to contact pretty much around 10 people based on their preference. Of course, they will try to make sure that they have like a good reviews and whatnot. Which, by the way, it's not a problem when you're starting up, because it's really not like you always get buyers. Your only goal is to close them, and then it becomes like a snowball effect. So don't be discouraged because of all these guy has like a lot of reviews. But always like around they will contact around 10 people. So you need to be the best one. That's why you have to create a resistible offer. That's why you have to be good at selling, because you can have a chance to actually get the client over this guy who has like a lot of clients and a lot of reputation and top rated seller, and even on top of vetted pros and all that stuff, it really doesn't matter. The seller level doesn't matter. What matters is actually how you sell the product or service. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and also one of the reasons as well that I didn't mention yet, one of the reasons why it's become much easier, one of the biggest reasons is because of the new algorithm changes. Fiverr been changing over the years, and in 2024 they did a huge change, and 2025 still changing. So, but everything remains the same, because what actually matters in order to be like on the top pages, just like to be like very straightforward, is your quality of service, meaning how happy your buyers are. And I'm not mean just like it's just not about the ratings. It's all about the communication and everything. They have, like, as I was telling you, Fiverr has a built-in AI, so they can understand when you're having like good communication and when the buyer's actually happy or not based on their conversation. So there's a lot of little factors that actually you can have and take in consideration, that what I can explain on a latter stage and whatnot. But it's become like much more easier. And also, because, which is one of the biggest things, is that Fiverr are, pushing new sellers over the first pages. This is something that I've been checking lately, and actually, as a seasoned seller, I sometimes get like a little bit pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like when there's like a new seller on the top pages and I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Because like I have a huge track record, but this is just like a Fiverr's way of encouraging new sellers to actually get on top of the pages. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen people with I don't know, 28 reviews. Like, why would people with 39 reviews, 28 reviews? I've seen people with 0 reviews. Over here. Like, why would they be on the top pages? Like 10 reviews. You know what I'm saying? So the main reason why they do it is because they want to give everyone a chance. Like, however, that doesn't mean that your position here will last for a long time. It would just be for there perhaps a day, 2 days, maybe a few hours, but that will give you enough momentum in order to get prospects, and then you can close the client, and that's how you can build momentum, because momentum is everything on Fiverr. Momentum is everything. This is something I need to emphasize. Momentum is everything. Let me just remove this stuff because it's very important. This momentum is everything, because the more orders you get equal more reviews. I always tell this: more reviews equal more buyers equal more money. It's a pretty much like a snowball effect. So you need to get momentum. It really doesn't matter if you're like offering your service for cheaper and whatnot. You must close the client, and from there you start building the snowball effect, and that's how you can earn like over $10,000 a month. You can make multi. I mean, you can see like here, like I've done like many times, like over the $10,000 a month and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's really very achievable, and actually completely change your life once you start hitting this. I'm talking about pure profits. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, as a freelancer, you take pretty much 100% of the margins. Eventually, once you start hiring people, yeah, of course, your margin reduces, but guess what? You gain your time back. That's what I was trying to tell here. Like, for example, after, like, your only goal here is just make the money. Just make the money. If you don't have money, or if you're like not earning that much money, just get the money first, and then eventually you start hiring other people so you can get your money back. I mean, your time back. So that's something that you must keep in consideration, and then eventually, just like everything becomes just very easy. And once you start like getting to the first pages, you can actually remain here for a long time, which is the name of the game. Sustainability is the name of the game, because you want to make those consistent $10,000 a month or more. And once you start understanding the algorithm, you can remain here, and it's all about the snowball effect. Getting more 5-star reviews, getting more orders. It's very hard to get away from the top pages once you get like enough momentum. You know what I'm saying? But always you have to keep this in mind. Your position here on the pages is relative to the performance of these people. You have a huge advantage here, because most sellers on Fiverr are not good. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very, very possible that you can remain here for a long time if you're actually doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? That's the name of the game. That's when you can build consistency. You can have predictable income, because you can understand, like, okay, I'm doing a good job. I'm still getting 5-star reviews. I'm still getting buyer satisfaction. So it just makes sense that you remain there. Like, I've seen like these guys all over the place. Like, for example, there's like in some web development. I don't know. Let's say here, I've seen people like, I don't know if I can find someone here, but yeah, like you can always, after you start like researching the marketplace, you can see that the same people always remain on the top pages. Why? Because it's a snowball effect. That's how it works. That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I realized, because 2023 was actually a much better year. Because Here was very consistent, right? But these dips were like the things that were causing me like struggle, because that was because I got deranked. And the reason why I got deranked, I mean, like I was not here on the top pages. I was like pushed back to the, I don't know, the 10th page, or even like I don't have been in the search pages. The reason why was because buyer satisfaction, because the buyer satisfaction of all these guys were better than mine. Why? Because I messed up, like I messed up. Sometimes you messed up and you have to be like very critical. You have to be good at it. But once you achieve that, like it's very easy. And then eventually you start like you can easily make $10,000. I mean, maybe not among when starting out. A lot of people are just happy by making like 2K, 3K, maybe 5K. But it's just like I was just showing proof that you can actually make much more than that. And like there's multi-millionaires here on Fiverr, like making a lot of money. Some of them have teams. Maybe a lot of them are just freelancers, but there's a lot of money to be made. And then once you start like making this amount of money, that's when you can get like a little bit more, smart regarding investments, and you can do these things and all that. You know what I'm saying? So you can start like once you have like consistent income coming, you can start like investing in some other stuff in order for you to grow your wealth. But the best thing to begin with, like this, will give you a very respectable amount of freedom. Making $10,000, well, $10,000 amount of as a freelancer will give you like a respectable amount of freedom, and it's very achievable. You can just quit your job, you can retire your family. You can, I don't know if retire your family, maybe yes, it really depends on the country you live in, but it's very possible. If you're from a third world country, you can do it. On a first world country, at least you have freedom for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just take $10,000 a month, go to a better place to live in. Latin America, you can go to Southeast Asia, whatever it is, and you get a lot for your US dollar. So if you want to work with me, let me know. If there should be a link in my description. If there's not a link, it's because I have already all spots filled out. Or you can just join the free community over here. So let me know if that makes sense. If you have any questions, just please drop a comment below, and subscribe if you want to learn more about how to make money on Fiverr. Because like, of course, like this can go more in depth. I'm just giving you like a full awareness on how it works. I have a lot of videos that you can check for free. Like, you don't have to pay me anything. You can just check it by yourself. If you want to work with me, it's just to reduce all the struggle, all the steps of the process, because I've been doing this for the past 5 years consistently every single day. So that's why I have the confidence of teaching you, because like I've been doing this for a while, and I have the proof, I have the results and everything. So I understand how this thing works. And it took me a while. I didn't have the courage to actually record these videos because I didn't understood how to actually win on the Fiverr game. I thought I was blessed, but then when you see these dips, I was like, yeah, but like I thought I was blessed, and eventually like I didn't know how to actually understand the algorithm until I realized, how it worked when everything just changed. You know what I'm saying? But the name of the game is how to sell and be consistent. So yeah, hope this video makes sense. Just for the record, I dominate 58% of the world. Okay, 58%, which is crazy, right? But yeah, most of the sales anyways come from the US. So if you speak English, that's best. You don't have to speak English though. You can leverage AI, but yeah, you don't have to take any sales calls. So yeah, it's good. So hope everything makes sense. Leave a comment below, and I'll be happy to see you on the next one.